what you think about me. I don't care what you say about me. You're not in the position that I'm in to even be on the same level of me, you know? And I don't say reach. He got like a 60 something, you know? He's wider than me, but that's it. So I'm like, it match up. It matches up.
It's their levels and their stars and superstars. Okay, and they made the championship, not the championship made them. So it's way different, you know. Like I come and I do my career, and I fight with Coro and with the Klaus, and I fight with Mayweather with the Klaus, and I fight with everybody to build my Canelo Alvarez I am. Right now, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
In the recent sitting face-to-face interview with Canelo and Crawford, Crawford has revealed that he's bringing all arsenal into the training camp, leaving no stone unturned for this historic showdown. With the chance to become the first male boxer in the four-belt era to claim undisputed status in 3 different weight classes, Crawford has made it clear that he's all in, fully aware of the stakes and the physical mountain he must scale. He knows the risks, but he also believes in his advantages, emphasizing his speed, reach, and boxing IQ as the keys to unlocking the puzzle that is Canelo.
Along my career, I've been criticized, and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments, just off of pure hate. So what would they be able to say with me going up 2 weight classes? If Canelo become undisputed again, and I beat Canelo, what could they say? They'll say something, but what they gonna make?
Crawford's confidence isn't misplaced. He has a rare blend of technical mastery and knockout power that has made him a nightmare for every opponent he has faced. Speaking on his physical edge, Crawford said, "I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might have the size and power, but I feel like I got better at boxing skills." This is not just a boast, it's a calculated assessment. Crawford's ability to switch stances and seamlessly shift from offense to defense sets him apart in a way that most fighters, including Canelo, haven't had to face in recent years. This versatility, paired with his high ring IQ, has allowed him to dominate multiple divisions, moving from lightweight to welterweight while dismantling champions at every stop. As Crawford puts it, his last outing against Errol Spence Jr. was a masterclass in timing, distance control, and power, a performance that solidified his claim as one of the sport's top pound-for-pound fighters.
And on his part, and then you get to see Canelo and see if he's able to maintain the 168-pound division. You know, he's been there for quite some time, and we've seen Canelo go up to 75 to fight Bivol. It didn't look too well for him, you know, but we'll see. I think it's a great matchup. Obviously, Canelo has to do his part in winning and collecting another belt to become undisputed once again in that weight class against William Skull. So it's a great matchup. I think that it's definitely eye-pleasing for the crowd.
Despite the daunting weight gap, Crawford isn't backing down. He addressed this head-on, saying, "My arms are long, I am strong, I even dare to say that they underestimate my strength. It is true that we'll fight in his weight category and he knows it very well, but let's see if it will be easy as he claims." These words have cut straight to the heart of the challenge. Canelo, for all his power and pressure, has struggled against fighters who can use their reach effectively and maintain discipline over 12 rounds. Floyd Mayweather, who handed Canelo his only legitimate loss, did so by exploiting similar advantages, albeit at a lower weight. Crawford clearly sees a path to victory through superior ring generalship, footwork, and the ability to make Canelo pay for every misstep.
We're great combinations and a very strong fighter. You know, facing him off, he's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. One punch at a time. I don't think that's gonna be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong, just too good.
Canelo, on his part, isn't underestimating the task ahead. Fresh off reclaiming his undisputed status by dispatching William Skull in a gritty 12-round decision, Canelo remains as focused as ever. He has acknowledged the magnitude of this bout, stating, "Just look how much he's accomplished, and just look how much I accomplished. So imagine two fighters with those accomplishments. It's huge." For Canelo, it's a chance to cement his legacy against an all-time great moving up to challenge him, potentially making this the most significant win of his career.
Do I have to ask about Terence Crawford? Do you think it'll add to your legacy, the fight
Yeah,
with Crawford?
he's a really good fighter. 2 times undisputed champion. He accomplished so much. So can add a lot to my career.
Canelo's assessment that this fight could surpass his 2013 bout with Mayweather in terms of historical impact is not without merit. At that time, Canelo was a rising star, undefeated and still refining his style. He was outclassed by Mayweather's superior technique and defensive mastery, a loss that he openly admits taught him invaluable lessons. Now, over a decade later, Canelo is the complete fighter, with victories across 4 weight classes and a resume that includes names like Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Callum Smith. He has become a more polished, more patient, and more destructive force, particularly at his preferred super middleweight range. Yet, as Crawford himself pointed out, styles make fights, and no one has yet cracked the Crawford code.
Get on to something, you know, and then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking into it.
The mental game here is as intriguing as the physical one. Crawford has made it clear that he isn't simply looking to survive against the bigger man, he intends to impose his will. His trainer, Bomac McIntyre, has pushed this mindset, noting, "I'm seeing the holes in his game and I know how to attack him." This isn't empty bravery. It reflects a strategic approach to the fight that aims to exploit Canelo's occasional flat-footedness and reliance on power shots. Crawford's camp is reportedly focusing on lateral movement, quick counters, and constant angles, a plan designed to frustrate and disrupt Canelo's rhythm. This tactical edge, combined with Crawford's unshakable self-belief, presents a unique set of challenges for Canelo, who is used to overwhelming opponents with pressure and power.
I speak the facts. All right? I'll even do it for you. A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it.
Crawford's preparation is also marked by a notable addition to his camp. It has been suggested that he may bring in Israil Madrimov as a sparring partner, a move that would mirror the strategy Dmitry Bivol used before his stunning upset of Canelo in 2022. Madrimov, a tough, durable fighter known for his aggressive style and high ring IQ, helped Bivol sharpen his counters and footwork for that bout, leading to a decisive, unanimous decision win. When asked if he would assist Crawford, Madrimov said, "Yes, because I need more practice for my next fight. If he's calling, no problem." This could be a crucial piece of Crawford's puzzle, providing him with a sparring partner capable of simulating Canelo's relentless forward pressure while maintaining enough skill to test Crawford's adjustments in real time.
If Terence asked you to help him for Canelo, would you?
Если Canelo тебя попросит помочь в спаррингах, ты согласишься?
Yes, yeah, because I needed more practice for me next fight. If he's calm, no problem.
Do you think Terence can beat Canelo?
If 12 rounds, maybe yes, because very technical.
Even as he steps into the lion's den at 168 pounds, Crawford seems unfazed by the physicality awaiting him. He has openly studied Canelo's recent performances, including the grinding 12-rounder against Skull, where the Mexican struggled to land cleanly on a constantly moving target. Of the 152 punches Canelo threw in that fight, only 56 landed. A statistic that likely fuels Crawford's confidence. He noted, "Skull moved a lot. He neutralized Canelo's power punches well. He was boxing well, and then he stopped." This observation signals Crawford's intent to push Canelo into deep waters, testing his stamina and patience over the course of the fight.
Good job neutralizing Canelo power punches. He was just moving a lot.
Do you think that's like a style you have to employ at points of the fight?
I don't know, because if you watch the styles that beat him, they didn't move a lot. You know, they moved a little bit, but not as much as William Skull.
There's a rumour going around this week that Manny Pacquiao is going to return. What do you make of that?
I don't know. We shall see. I don't know.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
However, not everyone shares Crawford's optimism. Amir Khan, who once faced Canelo at a catchweight and suffered a brutal knockout, offered a stark reminder of the dangers ahead. Canelo is a beast, man. I fought both of those guys, and I feel that size always wins. Having weight divisions, there's a purpose behind that, Khan said. While he acknowledged Crawford's skill, he questioned the wisdom of such a risky move. Terence is special, don't get me wrong, but then there's getting hit by a guy like Canelo. Yet despite these warnings, Crawford seems unwavering in his resolve, fully embracing the challenge and the potential for monumental glory.
There's rumours that Terence Crawford and Canelo.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that.
However, not everything is so straightforward that's coming from Crawford's camp. Terence Crawford's trainer, Brian "Bo-Mac" McIntyre, recently made headlines by expressing concerns about the potential for biased judging in Crawford's upcoming clash with Canelo Alvarez. This isn't just the usual pre-fight talk about game plans and training intensity. It's a direct shot at the sport's often questioned scoring practices, especially in high-stakes bouts involving boxing's biggest stars. McIntyre's comments suggest a deep-seated worry about the possibility of an unfair decision. A concern that, if echoed by Crawford's camp, could shape the psychological landscape of the fight well before the first bell rings.
It's a stylistic matchup, you know, and William Skull don't fight nothing like Terence Crawford. So we're not going to see the same type of fight come September. I think we're going to see a great fight, real good fight.
You and Terence have always had like a good relationship, but if he makes Canelo come off the titles, is he on your radar then in the division?
Yeah, I mean, all the top super middleweights are on my radar. You know, I want to face the best, and you know, a lot of fighters say that, but I don't feel like a lot of them have shown and proved that. I feel like I've shown and proved that. So.
McIntyre raised this point while speaking with Mill City Boxing, admitting, "This is the only thing that sometimes worries me. The name Canelo. Will we get a fair shake? If the fight is close, will we get the fair shake?" It's a loaded statement, especially coming from a trainer known for his direct and often blunt assessments. The underlying message here is clear. McIntyre believes that even if Crawford delivers a performance worthy of victory, the judging could still favor the more established, more marketable Canelo, a fighter with a long history of receiving favorable scorecards in tightly contested bouts.
How do you think you're going to stop Canelo Alvarez?
I don't got to stop him. I just got to beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. You know, when I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. You know, being that these big guys are slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment. You know, they might catch him with a...
This isn't the first time the specter of questionable judging has loomed over a Canelo fight. The Mexican superstar's contentious 2017 draw with Gennady Golovkin, for instance, remains one of the most debated decisions in recent memory. The notorious 118-110 scorecard in that bout, handed down by Judge Adelaide Bird, became a flashpoint for critics who argue that A-list fighters like Canelo often benefit from the judge's tendency to favor aggression and star power over precision and ring generalship. McIntyre's preemptive strike on this issue isn't just a tactical move, it's a psychological maneuver aimed at keeping the pressure on judges to score fairly, knowing the intense scrutiny that will accompany every round of this mega fight.
I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So
Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. That's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
You know, they weight class for a reason. In his mind, he think he can do whatever he wants because he's very talented.
I just hope that Crawford is not overdoing himself with the weight and he underestimates because he never got hit.
But there's another layer to this strategy that speaks to the dynamics within Crawford's camp. McIntyre's comments can be interpreted as a hedge against the potential backlash if his fighter comes up short. By planting the seed of possible scoring controversy, Bomac is effectively creating an insurance policy against the narrative of a clean loss. It's a calculated risk, one that acknowledges the reality that many of Crawford's fans may not view a decision loss to a naturally bigger fighter as a simple defeat, but rather as a case of politics at play.
Well, they was something until Crawford fought him, so obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Apparently no rehydration clause, am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke at that weight.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best, so hey, why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best?
It's also a curious approach given Crawford's own public confidence. The Nebraska native has repeatedly expressed his belief that his skill set, reach, and boxing intelligence are enough to overcome Canelo's power and size advantages. This clash in messaging within Team Crawford raises questions about whether Bomac's concerns reflect a genuine fear of unfair treatment or simply an effort to control the post-fight narrative, regardless of the outcome. Crawford, known for his steely demeanor and unshakable focus, may not appreciate his trainer's apparent lack of full confidence in his ability to get the job done without outside interference.
There's no Triple G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division.
Beyond McIntyre's concerns, the event itself has already encountered logistical challenges. Despite the high-profile nature of the bout, which could easily draw a massive crowd, UFC President Dana White, who has a hand in promoting the fight, has made it clear that he is not a fan of the proposed venue, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. White, known for his strong opinions and reluctance to stage UFC events in large open stadiums, recently reiterated his stance, saying, "Nothing will change my mind about a stadium show. I really like this town, and the energy in that place was awesome all night. That's the energy you get in an arena."
Seen the last decade? Yeah, ever. This is one of the biggest fights ever. And obviously I'm honored to be promoting. But yes, when they say we're promoting it, I'm doing the promotion, we're doing the production, the event ops, PR, I mean everything to do with the fight, just like a UFC fight. While at the same time,
White's discomfort with the stadium setting isn't just about personal preference, it's a logistical and atmospheric concern. The UFC has built its brand on the intense, intimate energy of arena fights, where the crowd's reactions can fuel the action inside the octagon. Translating that same energy to a sprawling stadium, even for a boxing match of this magnitude, presents a significant challenge. Nevertheless, White has committed to making the experience inside Allegiant Stadium as impactful as possible, acknowledging that this is a rare exception for a fight of this scale. "Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. So because I hate it so much, you know I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to make it an incredible experience inside Allegiant Stadium," White said, suggesting that he's prepared to pull out all the stops to ensure the event's success.
Canelo is still the man.
Yes,
you know,
he's been for a long, long time.
And he jumps in there and he does it and he goes to work, and it's hard to stay at that level for a very long time. And Canelo's another guy. I mean, what's this guy clipping?
Frank Warren, another influential figure in the boxing world, has also weighed in, adding another layer of intrigue to the event. In a recent interview, Warren reflected on Canelo's recent fight against William Skull, noting that the Mexican superstar looked vulnerable at times. "You know, Skull was catching Canelo. It makes Crawford fight more of an intriguing fight," Warren observed, pointing out that even a great like Canelo can be touched if his opponent maintains discipline and precision. Warren's comments echo a common sentiment among boxing insiders. that Canelo, for all his power and experience, can still be outboxed by a clever, sharp fighter who refuses to be drawn into a firefight.
It could give Canelo a real problem now. I think early on you could see, he's a mover and he's obviously a very good boxer. I think to start with, when he's throwing his jab, it was falling short. They weren't emphatic punches, and I think as it slowed down, it was then connecting. He was catching him. It makes that Crawford fight, I think, more an intriguing fight. I always say a good big and beat a good little one, and he's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford, but it could give Canelo a real problem now, because Canelo was getting...
Warren's observations are particularly relevant given Crawford's style. Known for his ability to switch stances and exploit his reach, Crawford has the tools to replicate some of the success Skull had, but with a higher level of execution and finishing ability. If Crawford can draw Canelo into a tactical battle rather than a brawl, he stands a real chance of neutralizing the Mexican's power and grinding out a points victory. However, as Warren rightly points out, the weight disparity will be a significant factor. A good biggin will beat a good little un, he said, underscoring the physical realities that Crawford must overcome to make history.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. So let's...
Despite these challenges, the anticipation for this fight continues to build. Crawford himself, ever the stoic competitor, has embraced the moment, stating, "Everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason why I'm here. In September, I'll show the world what greatness looks like." Meanwhile, Canelo has kept his message simple but respectful, acknowledging Crawford's elite status while making it clear that he intends to defend his turf at 168 pounds.
And the biggest question to me, how will the 12-pound difference be for Terence Crawford? It's going to be his first fight at 168. For Canelo, this is the weight class that he always fights at, no problem. But I'm really curious on how Terence Crawford is going to be able to adjust to this and if it's going to be advanced.
In the end, this fight is shaping up to be more than just a clash of styles or a test of will. It's a referendum on the sport itself, with issues of judging, size, and promotional politics all in play. For Crawford, it's a chance to claim an unprecedented third undisputed title in as many weight classes. For Canelo, it's another opportunity to affirm his dominance and perhaps silence those who still question his place among the all-time greats. But who do you think comes out on top? And do you think Bomac is already making excuses for a possible Crawford loss? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.